For many students, 3-day weekends are considered a blessing from kindergarten all the way into senior year of high school. Just think back to your own experience and remember the excitement and joy that you would feel when an extended weekend was coming up. Personally, I remember sitting at the lunch table back in high school with my friends and discussing the topic of having a 4-day week every week. Back then it was just wishful thinking, but now actual research has been done on the topic. And this research has proved that it can actually be done and brings some surprising benefits along with it. For this reason, I believe districts should seriously consider implementing a 4-day school week instead of a 5-day school week. To prove this point, I will be discussing the current problems with the 5-day school week, the benefits and solution that the 4-day week will bring, and the effect that implementation has on the district. To begin, take a look at the 5-day week. While widely accepted, does have a few drawbacks. First of all is the cost. According to the 2014 Federal Education Budget Project, America spends close to $550 billion per year on public elementary and secondary education. This averages out to around $10,658 per student, but it does vary from district to district. Another problem is how the current 5-day yearly schedule is set up. Jim Hull, the Center for Public Education's senior policy analyst, said in his 2011 report that most districts require 175 to 180 days, or around 900 to 1,000 hours of instructional time. The way the current 5-day schedule is set up, this allows for around 3 months of summer vacation, which leads to a much larger amount of summer learning loss, which is basically the feeling you get when you get back to school after summer break and you don't feel like you remember anything from the previous year and you have to relearn it all again. Moving on to the benefits of the 4-day week. First of all, financially it is generally much cheaper to use a 4-day week instead of a 5-day week. An example of this is from an article for education.com in 2010. The author, Bob Ross, revealed that for the Peach County School District in Georgia, who are using the 4-day week after a 5-day week, they saw that transportation costs went down 35%, utility went down 8%, and the cost for substitute teachers went down 76%. Another main benefit of 4-day weeks is that they increase the flexibility of the schedules. A. Dam from the Colorado Department of Education said in his 2006 report on 4-day school weeks that the addition of hours on the traditional school day would line up the end of the workday for parents and the end of the school day for the students. So it would basically it wouldn't require the need of a babysitter for the entire week, and mainly just for that one final day that they get off, which is a lot easier to schedule for the parents and the babysitters. There's also that 5th day gets to be used in many different ways, including plans for extracurricular activities are usually done on that day, and they also give teachers extra time to prepare their lesson plans and many other uses. Some other benefits that just come along with using the 4-day week are revealed in a 2009 research article by Christine Donis Keller and David L. Silvernail, who found that the 4-day week generally came along with increased student morale, reduced absenteeism for both students and teachers, as well as more participation in extracurricular events. Finally, we can look at the implementation factors and how it affects the school districts. From the same report by Donis Keller and Silvernail, they found that the switching process does take a little bit of work with the need to research the practice, examine the different schedules that they might think about using, as well as analyzing the pros and cons in their particular case. While this is quite a lot of work, there hasn't been much time when change didn't require a lot of work. So another reason this could affect districts is the way that it affects students' academic performance. An extensive journal article made by Paul Hewitt and George Denny in 2011 analyzed the districts with 4-day weeks and compared the grades to the similar districts with 5-day weeks in Colorado. They concluded that it does not appear that concern over student academic performance should be used as a reason not to implement the 4-day week, which basically means there isn't that big of a difference between the grades of the 4-day week or the 5-day week students. In conclusion, the 4-day week provides additional benefits to the students and the school itself. For this reason, I believe that school districts should strongly consider using a 4-day week instead of a 5-day week. This is mainly because of the problems that come with the 5-day week, which include the financial and scheduling issues, the benefits that the 4-day week will bring, which comes with a lower cost and a much more flexible schedule, and as well as the implementation process, which, while it does require necessary work, does not affect the students academically or in a negative way. So by making the 4-day week a reality, the dream of having a 3-day weekend every week can become a reality for students everywhere. Thank you.
These are my note cards.